Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Thanks for joining us on this lesson of how to make some really beautiful chord voicings with using open strings, by inserting an open string inside of an already familiar chord voicing. So what am I talking about? So let me just kind of give you some examples of this. So you can get some really cool voicings by just inserting some open strings into chords that you're already familiar with. So let me kind of break down the concept that I'm talking about. There's a PDF that goes along with this, so make sure you download that. It's the YouTube description, has the link to it down there. Make sure you download that so you can follow along with us. So let's say for our purposes now, I'm going to be in the key of G. And what I'm trying to do, the little game that I'm playing, is I'm going to try and put an open string, maybe a G, third string G, maybe a second string B. I'm going to try and insert those into chords. So one of the exercises that I was starting to play with that is to start doing, maybe in the key of G, I could do tenths. So if I had a G here on the 5th string at the 10th fret and a B at the 2nd string at the 12th fret, that's a tenth. And then if I did that up and down, and then it kind of goes to a different shape there for the very last one. All right, now if I if I wanted to make those triads, I would add the 5th into it. So I'm going to add my 3rd finger to the 4th string at the 12th fret, and you end up with a triad, kind of an open voiced triad. So if I work that down and work it through the different shapes, I end up with this one, or I could do that. I could do an E minor. Maybe if I do a pinky there, it would be a C with an E in the bass. I'm just plucking the 5th, the 4th, and the 2nd. D, C, G with a B in the bass, or if I do the F sharp, it's a B minor. So do you see, in all of these shapes, I haven't used the 3rd string yet, okay? Okay, so that's kind of the layout of what I'm doing, so get those underneath your fingers first. And now I'm going to add that 3rd string, open G, in between all of those, and hear what happens. Our B minor turns into this beautiful G major 7th with the B in the bass. The, let's see, the C becomes a C, but it's got 2 Gs, one fretted and one open. The D becomes a beautiful D suspended with that open G in there. E minor is the next one. If I put my pinky on it, I get a C with a E in the bass. D with an F sharp in the bass, but it has that G in it, so it's kind of a D suspended. G. Ah, do you see where we're going? Hey, let's add some reverb and a little delay. Really kick it in there. of a sudden I've got all this magic happening there, and it's because of the uniqueness of the sound of the voice. The sound of the voicing. So it doesn't work with everything, but you can find a few chords along the way. So if you look at the PDF that goes along with this, the first line there, I took you through basically those chords. That's the G major 7 with the B in the bass. Don't get lost in the chord name there, because this is going to get complicated. But I tried to notate, look at the tab down there. You've got your second finger or second fret, fourth fret, open string, third fret. So you notice the third string is open on every one of these. And on the up in the music notation, it's got a note, a number with a string with a circle around it. That's the lowest note finger and the highest note finger. I figure if I can give you those two, you can figure out the rest on your own. So that first G major 7 with the B in the bass, I have a B with my first finger, F sharp with the third, open G. So I've got to really, I can't be sloppy. I can't have my hand back here. I got to really have it up on its tippy toes. And all I did was create some magic there by just adding an open string. So that's a little bit what the shapes are. So if you keep going up through there's the C, there's the D sus. It's a little hard to read that chord block, but it's every one of these has that third string open. E minor, C with an E in the bass, D with an F sharp, G, A minor, and you can just keep going. You can go to other keys too. I just picked G because it just landed nicely with that open G there. All right, now those are, notice what's happening there. I'm doing tenths. I'm doing, you don't have to do tenths, but I mean, this is just a good way to start it. And I'm using just the fifth string through the second string voicings. Can you do this on other string sets? You sure can. Okay, so take a look at the next diagram now. Let's do the same sort of exercise. So I'm going to do tenths in G, but this time I'm going to be on the fourth string, fifth fret for the G, pinky on the first string, seventh fret. That's my 10th. If I add my third finger and add that fifth to it, it have me D with an F sharp in the bass, E, C with an E in the bass. And so you get those shapes first. So some of them you'll notice, it can go from this little B minor shape. If I put my pinky out, I end up with a G with a B in the bass. Not all of them do that, although you can find some nice ones along the way. But not all of them are going to go with the open B that we're going heading toward. Now if I add that, now I'm going to add the open string, the second string note into my 4-note chord now. So I'm going to make it a some really cool voicings. So I take you through those voicings there on the second part of the PDF there, but I just want you to understand the concept. It can work with a whole bunch of different voicings, but I just want to introduce you to the concept. So the big idea is I'm taking some chords that have a string free, and I'm going to try and superimpose that open string in there. Now, of course, it only works with keys that have that open string in it. In the key of G, you have that open G and open B, so it works good for that. But you can find some real gems of chord voicings in there by adding that open string in there. So it just takes a little bit of experimentation to figure it out. Now, if I kind of take that concept into some other ideas, well, I could take it into other keys. Let's say I'm going to be in the key of, let's say, C. So I get some interesting voices when I switch it in the key of C. That's the idea. I'm just trying to keep that open G in there. Now I can think about that concept in some different ways as well. What if I wanted to do, let's say, single notes, or let's say I'm doing a sixth. Maybe I'm in the key of D, and I'm going to do sixth, and I'm going to add this open B in between all of them. There, I have to add that open G. Let's add a little bit of reverb and delay on there. See if we can make some magic. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of got all these kind of D tonalities running around in it. Just some ideas. So I can take that concept and apply it into other things. If I'm in the key of maybe E, what if I did sixth and E? What if I added that open B in between all of those? Some interesting combinations that, hey, what if I did an E minor? Some really cool ideas you can throw in there. Let me give you one more, a little seed for you to kind of germinate with here a little bit. Another option that I can do, taking that thought, what if I did a triad on the lower 3 strings? Let's say go back in the key of G, and then I'm just going to do the 3 upper strings, open. Okay, so I end up with a kind of a G 6th chord there. I did another triad up, which would be an A minor. And then I add the open strings to it. Oh, that's some cool stuff there. What if I take that, say, A minor triad and move it up to B minor and still keep those open strings? What if I do a C major triad here? I get a C major, kind of a major 9th sort of thing. All I'm doing is I'm taking the triad. You see? And I'm adding the open strings to it. Let's see. Okay, some different voicings there. What if I did that same kind of thought on the next string. What if I did maybe here's a D triad, and then I just have the only two open are the B and E minor triad, an F sharp, half diminished, big little bit of a stretch, G, A minor, cool. Do you see the possibilities here? Hey, let's just make a little groove here. See if I can get my okay, so something like maybe let's do a little groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I'm doing there, I'm just going to keep that going. What I'm doing is I did that A minor, kind of turned into an A minor ninth. I did a D suspend, or D, which turned into kind of this D suspended thing. And then I did an E minor ninth. Okay? And then I'm going to noodle around in E minor. Maybe I can add some open strings to it. Man, there's some cool things that you can do with that. That's the big idea. Take some open strings and trying to insert them even into the simplest of things. I was doing sixth right there, and adding these open notes in between it, and I was able to create some interesting sounding voicings from that. That's the big idea. So take these little seeds, experiment with them in your own playing, and see what kind of cool chords you can come up with. Hey, I'm Steve Krenz for Guitar Gathering. Keep up the great work in your learning. We'll see you next time.